Welcome. This video will provide a high-level overview of the program that we use in order to support the screens that are viewable within the auditorium for the media ministry here at Gethsemane Baptist Church. And I'll be walking you through at a high level some of the basic functionality of EasyWorship as it applies to the ministry here for live streaming. Of course, we're going to go ahead and launch EasyWorship. I'm going to make this full screen for you. EasyWorship, very similar to OBS in the way that it works. And anything that is here on the left window is your workspace where you can work on things and see the future. Anything over here on the right side is what is actually going out to the screens in the auditorium. So let me give you a quick run through of some of the things that you'll want to know. Think of this as kind of like a glorified PowerPoint. Right here in your schedule is where you're going to put your slides. Most of the slides are pre-made with the exception of maybe music that we have to type in before the service occurs. But let me walk you through kind of a general overview of what this looks like. Of course, we're going to come here to Media in order to access the slides. We're going to come to Images. In Images, you're going to see most of the popular images that we're using on a given service or a given Sunday. So for example here, we've got the identity. And so this is the slide that is up on the screens almost all the time when there's not a different slide up. This is the default slide that is always used for just general stuff that's not during a message or during the music, those kinds of things. So this is always the default slide to come back to. And then of course, if we're going to do some announcements, we'll put our announcements up there. So right now, announcement-wise, we've got here the announcement for the new baby. And then we've got the ladies shower coming up, or the ladies retreat coming up. And then we've got our Gethsemane on Air, the radio ministry. And so anytime that there's an announcement, you should generally be able to find it in here. If you're looking at the bulletin and you're not seeing an announcement that is here in the images bucket, it's likely that it just needs to be imported. So anytime a new slide is created and you need to go find it, you're just going to click on this little plus right here, and that's going to bring you to the last folder that was opened up, which is going to be Final Slides. Anytime I design a slide for the church media ministry, it always goes here in Final Slides, and you'll want to come and sort this by date. That way you're able to find any recent slides that I've created. And so if there's an announcement or maybe pastor has changed the sermon series that he's working on, you're always going to be able to come in here and find any of the slides to support those announcements and such. And so you'll see here we have quite the library of slides over the years. But say that we're coming up on the annual business meeting or whatever, and this is a new slide, well, we would be able to just open it, and then that's going to put it in here, and then you can bring it over here to your actual list. All right, and then we're going to put the identity in there. We'll throw a couple other identities in there. You're going to see why here in a second. So I'm going to put the identities in there as well. I've got the announcements. And next I need to go ahead and load my songs. So the song list is always provided to you at the beginning of the service, and you can get that from Barrett if it isn't provided to you, or refer to the bulletin. But for example, tonight we've got the song Ring the Bells of Heaven. So I'm going to type here under Songs, Ring the Bells of Heaven, and it's going to come up for me, and I'm going to see it right here. And so I can preview the song here. Now I do notice that there's just a black background here, and that's not the background that I want. So I'm going to come here to, I'm going to right click on this, click on Edit Song, and then I need to add a background here. So again, think PowerPoint. I'm going to come here, I'm going to click on Media, change this to Images, and then I'm looking for this one here, which is the same as the identity one, but it's got some opacity to it. And there is no logo on this one. So I'll go ahead and click on this one, and then I just need to layer it correctly so that that way the words are visible on here. Again, click on Media, click this, and then move it down so that way it is behind the words. going to do this for each of my slides here just to make sure that it's good. Okay, and then I'll click OK. And so from here, then I'm going to be able to take Ring the Bells of Heaven, and it is the very first song that we're singing. So I'm just going to nudge that right here behind the identity, so that way it's ready for Ring the Bells of Heaven. Then it looks like tonight we're going to be doing favorites, so I'll have to just kind of think on the fly for favorites. The next song that we're doing before the message, though, is I'd Rather Have Jesus. So I'll come here and type I'd Rather Have Jesus, and luckily it is already typed in here for me. So I'm going to come and I'm just going to nestle that right here between these two. And again, I can see that this one is also, for some crazy reason, missing the background. The way to cheat on this one on the fly, instead of having to go through and individually change it, is you can come here and I can dump this on there. And so now you'll see that it has this behind it already. All right, let's take a look at what this looks like here in real time. I'm going to start my service here. And again, remember, this is my list of slides. This right here is what is coming up next, kind of like on deck if you're playing baseball. And this right here is what's actually on my screen. It's going to be real important that this live thing is selected. Otherwise, nothing you do in here will go out to the screens in the auditorium. And so when I'm ready here, I'm just going to click Go Live, and that's going to bring that song up here for me. You'll see that now it's queued up announcements for me next. So we'll start with the first verse, Ring the Bells of Heaven, there is joy today. Then I'll go back to the chorus. Then we'll sing the chorus. We'll go to the third verse. Then I'll go back to the chorus. And then it's real important that you click and drag here because sometimes scrolling can cause it to skip verses. Then I'm going to go to verse 3. Then I'm going to go back to the chorus here. And then once I'm done with the chorus, oh wow, it's time for announcements. I just click Go Live, and there's my announcement. We've got the announcement here for the new baby. We've got the announcement about the ladies' retreat. We've got the announcement here for the new radio ministry. Looks like Father's Day is coming up. Here's the slide I just added for posterity's sake to show you how to get that slide. And then once announcement's done, this identity slide is here as a buffer before we get to the next song. Then, boom, we've got the next song, I'd Rather Have Jesus. Click that over here. We've got our chorus, or our verse. We go to chorus. Then we go to verse 2, back to the chorus. Verse 3, back to the chorus. And then I'm ready to move to the next thing, which of course here is my identity over here, or maybe pastor's preaching a message tonight from Sermon on the Mount. Well, I'll just go ahead and make sure Sermon on the Mount is in there. And now whatever is here is being pushed out to my screens. Let's make this a little bit more interesting and show you how OBS and EasyWorship can work together to really support the live stream. Of course, on the left side of my screen here, I've got EasyWorship. On the right side of my screen, I've got OBS. And again, to review with you, these are the slides that are available to me here in EasyWorship. These are my slides available to me here in OBS. Remember, EasyWorship controls the screens. So this here is what's going out to my screens. OBS controls my live stream. So this is what's going out to my live stream. But check this out. So we're ready to start our live stream here. So I've got my start date. We're ready to do that. And then once the service starts, Barrett will come up and start leading the singing. So we'll go ahead and fade. I'll make sure that my camera control is up. Whoa, that's big. And then I'm going to zoom in on the pulpit there. That way I'm able to see the song leader. From there then, I'm able to, whatever is on my screen, check this out. If I want it to be big, whatever I put on my screen here can go through to OBS. So again, this is kind of inception. But remember, this is what's going to my screen. But if I select screens big, I can make whatever is going to the screens in the auditorium go through on OBS. So if I want to do songs in full screen, I can. Once I change to announcements, you'll see that this is going to the screens out in the auditorium. This is now going to the live stream for the viewers. So as I go through announcements, I can do those here in full screen, or my preference, honestly, for leading singing is that we do that with the little screens. So watch this. We can keep the song leader in view, but also be able to push the music through using the two products together. So here I've got my song leader. Whatever I change here will go through the live stream for my viewer. And then once I'm ready to no longer have this out in the live stream, I just fade. And then I make sure that I'm on whatever the next slide is here. And so now I'm still working independently. So again, let me run that by you again. This is my auditorium. This is my live stream. I want to take this content and push it through the live stream. I can do it with the big screen like so. So any changes I make to the auditorium will go through on the live stream. Or I can do it with a little screen. So I can make it look like this. And then anytime I change something in the auditorium, it will show for me in the little corner. And then when I'm ready to no longer show that out on my live stream, I can get rid of it. And then make sure that I swivel back over here to see what's going on with my screens inside the auditorium. One quick note again on timing. You can always come back here to the placeholder for the identity. And then it's real important that during the message, you've got Sermon on the Mount or whatever the sermon title is out on the screens for everybody. It doesn't hurt to, maybe splash that through the live stream real quick so that folks can see what the message is. Or again, you can park it down in the bottom if you want, just to remind people, hey, here's the sermon series that we're currently on. And then my request is at the end of any services that as soon as the final prayer has been said, you just switch back to the identity here. So that way that's what's going through either the live stream or out to the auditorium. Timing is key. I'll continue to post more videos and create more content here for you to understand and learn more about the inner workings of the live stream and of the auditorium and of just how to support the media ministry here with all the different stuff that we do. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to working with you.